Good day. It's Friday, June 27th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Benjamin Escobar, HCCTV production specialist with Marisa Carrasco, HCC Southeast Advising Manager of Student Services. How you doing this morning, Marisa?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day. Students are coming in. It's gonna be a great Friday. I can feel
I'm
it.
glad. So, you're here. It's my first time co-hosting with you, so I mean, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna
Oh,
we're gonna have a great
awesome.
show for you.
I'm excited. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, Benji, I can share how we can find us on social media.
Yeah, of course,
Now we
please.
go first. Okay, cool. So everybody, we're live on Houston Community College District Facebook, not the HCC one, and on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and HCC TV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Well, thank you so much. Today, we have HCC's Geology Program discussing how it rocks as a degree. We have Karen Yip, Geology Program Coordinator for HCC Department of Astronomy, Geology, and Physics. How you doing today, Karen?
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday.
Yeah, we're very excited to talk to you. We'll get back to you in about 10 minutes. But
Perfect.
first, for Film Friday, we're welcoming an indie film music producer who was recently honored at the Houston Public Library. His name is Barry Coffing, founder and CEO of We Get Artists and MusicSupervisor.com, as well as HCC Music Business Film School Advisory Board member. Welcome to the show, Barry.
Oh, thanks. It's good to be here. It's my first time.
Yeah, we're glad that you're on here with us. First things first, you came to us highly recommended by Paul McCartney's stepsister, Ruth, who was on the show last week. She said you were just involved in an event called Loud, Loud Music with Houston Public Library. So tell us more about that.
So that's Derek McKinney, who's a local kind of really entrepreneur, and so he put together a music festival and conference tied in with the Houston libraries.
Mhm.
And unbeknownst to all of us, they have four what they call tech hubs or tech something, but there are basically four libraries that have full recording studios,
Yeah.
podcast studios, maker studios. They can do digital manufacturing. And I mean, it's just incredible facilities that we didn't even know existed. And so the idea was to get, and all you have to do is do a training and have a library card, and you can go in and walk in and record. And so the idea was to get as much uh, of a spotlight on the facilities that we have. There's one in A-Leaf, they're in Third Ward, they've got them scattered around and are adding to them. So the idea was to focus on that.
Well, that's great to hear that we have such facilities around the city. I mean, some of this equipment is very expensive, so sometimes that's literally what holds people back from doing something. But now that it's easily accessible to people, I mean, we can get creative minds to get working on stuff that, they couldn't have access to. And I just want to add into you grew up in Houston. Can you give a quick recap of, I mean, your professional journey for somebody who's, looking to do something that you are in the industry?
So I grew up here in Houston. I went to the high school for the performing and visual arts. I started a band called Commercial Art, played in clubs 6 nights a week, 4 hours a night, and then ran off to LA to be a rock star. I got a record deal on Warner in Asia, believe it or not, and that went double cardboard. That's where your mom and five friends buy it. And I had my own distribution deal. I had a record deal with Sony with my own label. Lost more money in less time than I thought was possible. Signed a bunch of bad publishing deals. Universal still has it. So I kind of did the big stuff. Did not become a rock star, but I did end up writing songs for movies. I've had 200 songs for film and TV. I'm an Emmy loser. I wrote a song called How Do You Talk to an Angel with two other Houstonians, Steve and Stephanie Tyrell. And it went number one in 54 countries.
Wow.
So did a bunch of success in that, and then I moved on into starting a company called We Get Artists, where I represent 20,000 record labels from 79 countries around the world, and we're pitching between 10 and 15,000 songs a month, and we get a song in a movie every 72 hours.
Wow. Wow. That's just amazing, man. So you're keeping busy then.
Yeah, and then I moved my family back here secretly. I'm still in LA, still in LA.
Okay.
But way cheaper, four kids, keeping them happy, a lot cheaper to keep them happy here. And then, I'm on the board of the film and the music business department at HCC, kind of helping to look and see, keep them current with the curriculum and the way the world works.
Wow. And
I
I know you
can't.
mentioned I know you mentioned some companies there at the beginning. Any other stuff that you've been involved with? Any productions that people might know?
Oh, and if you go to the website, I mean, tons. We're a B2B company, so there's the things that we can talk about, and there's the other things like we've got stuff in really big projects that some people would prefer we didn't say they
Yeah,
got
yeah.
from us, you know. But when you go there, like right now, we're working on a series for Netflix. They've rebooted China Beach, and we put
Okay.
30 songs in that. We've also done some Marvel movies. We had a song in Green Book that won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Two in Blindside that Sandra Bullock won her award
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
So we do a bunch of that.
Wow. I mean, I'm amazed by some of those projects that you've worked on. I mean, here on my list, I have some Vampire Diaries, Shameless, Pretty Little Liars, and lots more. I mean, how has that been for you that you've gotten this commercial success?
We started 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
and one of the things I did is because I'd written songs, and then I moved over to being a music supervisor, and I even produced a film. Which, once again, you learn a lot from your disasters. It took 8 years to finish the film, and two of the actors were dead. But
Yeah.
we did win best producer at the Beverly Hills Film Festival, which means I think it was a Mercy Award. But you learn a lot. Like the people always talk about success. You don't learn a ton from success, but your failures, oh yeah, you're taking
Mhm.
notes. And so we, one of the things I knew is as a music supervisor, I didn't struggle finding rock, hip hop, or country. But when you said I need Turkish dance music, I had a heart attack. So the first 5 years, we traveled the globe signing every Lithuanian flute player, which is why the library is so diverse. So when people get in trouble, I usually get the call.
Oh, wow, wow, that's great to hear. And I know you have some involvement with HCC. Are you teaching and lecturing with other schools? What's the whole deal with teaching and HCC?
Well, I'll lecture almost every year in those things, but also we've got a really good relationship with the film department and the music business department. So Chris Williams and all of the team, Rick Boyd. In fact, I have a music conference and festival that I do called Springboard that I started in 2012, and
Mhm.
HCC students filmed the very first one. And so we've continued to have that. We've had students fly out to San Diego. We've had them being involved because it's one thing to learn about something. It's another thing to do it and experience it. So we have a really great relationship with those guys, and anytime we can work together, we do.
Yeah, and you've also done some stuff for Swamp too with Randy Ramsey. That she's one of our co-hosts here as well.
Yeah, I've multiple times. Anytime it's a film and TV thing,
Uh-huh.
obviously, when they go music for film and TV, I'm an easy get.
So I know you mentioned that Turkish dance folk song that you were working on. I mean, what is the most unusual or exciting project that you've worked on or that you're currently working on right now?
Um, there's a lot of crazy things that we're doing. Um, there's some local filmmakers that just finished a film called Best of Trades. So we
Hmm.
have I have a music festival and conference I do called Springboard, and so we do a panel we call Moment of Truth.
Okay.
Rather than have a panel and go, hey, how do you find music? We go, forget it. You guys have come here. 1 minute, one song. What do you want to play for the panel? And I brought the filmmakers in.
Okay.
So they pitched last year at Springboard Houston, and now the film has been bought, and a bunch of the artists are in there, and a bunch of my interns worked on it. So we gave them additional music coordinator credits,
Wow.
additional music editing and composition, so that they're getting the biggest thing that you need in the business is nobody asks you for your degree; they ask you for your experience. Can I see
Um,
your reel? So we really are working to give them people that, and that's been one of the most exciting things that we've done.
no, that does sound exciting, man. That's great. And you also do showcases. What are those all about? Tell us about that.
So the idea of Springboard, it's under a nonprofit called Sustainable Artists. So we teach artists how to make a living. Like there's a
Hmm.
lot of people to help you make the art, but when it comes
Yeah.
down to making the money, it's a little, light. But when I was, with the library, they honored several people, including Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, Ricky
Yeah.
Anderson, who was the head of the legal, the entertainment law thing. And these are pro guys, so they come and work for free They'll come and everybody that speaks at my panels does it for free. The bands are never charged, and we really make an impact. So we coach them up for 2 days. Then the third day we go out and play a festival, and we do it designed for the industry, so it's more industry showcases. Just give us 20 minutes, your best 20 minutes, and get off the stage. So that means that the professionals can see 3 new bands an hour.
Yeah.
So we crank it out so they get a chance to showcase in front of all these Guns N' Roses manager and Ruth McCartney and all of these different people that come in. And so they get access to that. And then we also have local managers and agents and labels that we coach up along the way too.
Wow. I mean, you're doing great stuff, and I also want to thank you for that that partnership we have with you with the HCC Music Business School too. I mean, that's just great stuff. And lastly, we're here getting to the end of the show. Any piece of advice you have to those students? I mean, something you always tell them to kind of, I guess, when they want to be part of the industry.
So the biggest thing, as somebody who grew up in a not major music city, everybody acts like, oh, you want to be a singer. Oh, you want to be, oh, what are you going to do for a living? And the thing I do an opening speech, and I call it DIY is a big fat lie, because nobody ever did it themselves. But here's the truth. If you can drive a truck, why not drive Beyonce's truck? If you have no musical talent at all, but you're really organized, there are a million jobs in the industry. People say you can't be in the NFL. Can you cut grass? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Don't believe anybody who tells you can't make a living in the arts. It's $170 billion of economic impact in the US every year. There's plenty of room for you. You can do it.
Wow, thank you. That's even inspiring for me, because I am, kind of in this trip trying to figure it out how to, get in there and, do some creative stuff. So thank you so much, Barry Coffing, founder and CEO of We Get Artists and MusicSupervisor.com, as well as HCC Music Business, Film School Advisory Board member. We'll have all of your info on our post after the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for what you guys are doing too.
Of course, yes. Thank you so much, Barry. After a quick commercial break, Marisa will be back to talk about HCC's Geology Program. So stay tuned.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
Dear Santa, my mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate today.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Thank you, Benji and Barry. So moving on to Carrie Nebb, Geology Program Coordinator for HCC's Department of Astrology, Geology, and Physics. And I do want to know, I did call Karen so we can color coord for today, so I do think our section is going to be better. I'm just playing. But anyways, welcome back to the show, Karen. We're excited to have you here. We're looking forward to hearing more how geology rocks.
Yeah.
How are you doing today? Doing great? Feeling great?
I'm doing great. We're getting near the end of the summer, the first summer term, so there's lots of energy.
Awesome. I do want to state, as we enter this hurricane season, we're feeling this warmer weather, and then we're seeing all of this rain, sunshine, getting a little cold front. And even last year around this time, we had Hurricane Beryl hit, and I wonder for students, are there any classes that in the geology program specifically, where students can learn about how they can forecast the weather or how to be ready for the storms? Do we offer anything like that here at HCC?
Yeah, exactly. Our house got 3 inches of rain yesterday. it was a lot. And hurricane season started on June 1st. So this is one of our big hazards here in the Gulf Coast and in Houston. And students can learn about tropical systems and their impact both as sort of a weather phenomenon, but also their impact to people and everyone living in areas that are impacted. So we cover that in both oceanography. We have a meteorology class where it would be approached a bit more on the kind of storm forming side. But even in environmental science, that topic would be covered as kind of a human impact and society impact topic. And then earth science is a little bit of all of it, kind of the ocean and coastal impact. So yeah, most students who end up taking one of our geology or geoscience courses would get to learn about hurricanes and tropical weather.
You know, and that's great information. Coming from advising, a lot of times we hear students that are looking to take an elective and they're like, well, what's geology? And I'm like, let me look it up. And now you just gave a perfect example of what we can tell our students, because it's something that both students and staff, faculty should know about the geology classes. Now, you mentioned about the ocean system. And I heard that you were a participant in an ocean education workshop. So how do you bring back what you learned in those workshops, and how do you incorporate it with the oceanography course?
I did. I had a great opportunity to participate in a workshop with the Ocean Observatories Initiative. I went to Cape May, New Jersey for a few days after spring semester ended, and I was gathering with other instructors who teach intro level oceanography and marine science kinds of programs. The Ocean Observatories Initiative is funded by the National Science Foundation. There are ocean sensors and instruments deployed on both the Pacific side of the US and the Atlantic side, and they're constantly collecting data. And these data are available for researchers, but also it's available to the public. It's just a website with a user interface. And what the Ocean Observatories Initiative has started are some different faculty have gotten together to build lab activities and kind of classroom activities based on that data, real data coming from sensors that are out there in the water right now. And so I'm literally I had the chance to kind of practice and get into some of those activities so that it's not me just staring at it, trying to approach the classroom. And the other thing that I'm bringing not only are sort of those activities that are available, and I can share those with my colleagues, but we went on a little field trip to Rutgers University has an aquaculture innovation center in Cape May, where they are kind of putting together the demand for shellfish, the culinary end of it and the economics of that, but the fact that not all coastal systems, the clams and oysters, aren't happy everywhere, and temperatures are changing. So they're doing research to figure out how to select not only delicious clams and oysters, but how they fit into the coastal restoration, and kind of selecting those that will be useful in aquaculture, sort of shellfish farming. So they're raising oysters and clams. And so I shared some photos there of when we were doing the field trip there at the Aquaculture Research Center.
Awesome. And it sort of boggles my mind, because we're here at HCC, knowing all these things are going on in the world and how it's impacting us in our day to day. And we're just eating oysters, you know, on a Saturday night at 7 p.m. And who knew that all this was all connected? So talking about oceanography, how is that incorporated as far as into the core curriculum of our classes?
Yeah, all of our geology classes are in HCC's core curriculum. So oceanography and environmental science, meteorology, and earth science are all non-lab classes, just the 3-unit lecture. So most students who take those are taking them for the kind of science core curriculum. We also have lecture lab classes, physical geology and historical geology, and a brand new standalone environmental science lab that also counts in the core curriculum. So we invite all students to come and take our courses to fill those sort of check marks in their curriculum needs.
I deep down, I want to take a class just to know a little bit more about the weather and be prepared. I know as a staff member, I mean, I'm like, I should know about if there's a storm coming and how to prepare myself and what to look for, right? So that's really cool. So I did hear you've been here before. So you talked a little bit about the environmental science courses. Do you have any updates or do you want to share anything specifically about those classes?
Environmental science lecture class is our most offered. We have the most sections each semester for that. And we're really happy that the last couple years we've introduced an environmental science lab course for anyone who's concurrently taking environmental science or who has already taken it. This fall, that course will be at the Katy campus on Thursday afternoons. And we really invite everyone who is looking to get some lab experience and possibly go into environmental science at the university to enroll in that class if they can.
Me putting my advising manager hat and advising to all my staff, how does it look like, especially for, so I know a lot of times we get students asking, how does it look like, or what career paths can we do with geology? And how does it work when they want to transfer over into university or piquing my interest?
The students that think they want to go into geology for a 4-year a university degree, here at HCC, they can get all their prerequisites and those like lower division classes, the calculus and intro chemistry and physics and whatnot. So our HCC geology AS degree basically is all of that preparation to go to the upper division courses at local or national universities. And so we have a lot of partnerships with nearby universities. For example, at Sam Houston State University, they have established a scholarship specifically for transfer students going into that geology program. And the geosciences are vast. Not only here in Houston, we might hear most about the oil and gas and energy industry, but everything from any major construction project needs geologists. All of our mineral resources, that's geology. As we look to the future and trying to figure out how to build batteries and incorporate alternative energy, it's all going to need geologists.
Amazing. Like I mentioned earlier, we're all interconnected some way or another. But thank you again, Karen, Geology Program Coordinator for HCC Department of Astrology, Geology, and Physics. We'll have your info in our post after the show. But coming up after a quick commercial break, Benji and I will return with some news and some great announcements. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. We think the Tooth Fairy should travel everywhere, and while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities, we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
Where I come from, they call firefighters the bravest. My dad was one. We lost him 3 years ago. First Responders Children's Foundation gave me a scholarship so that I can become a nurse and help people just like my dad did.
Help us help them.
We're back on Up to the Minute, and now we have some news and announcements for you, starting off with secure your schedule at registration fairs. Fall 2025 is calling, and student seats in classes are waiting. Whether new to HCC or coming back to finish what they started, registration fairs are here to help them lock in their classes, finish their enrollment steps, and prepare for a successful semester. This week's remaining fairs are today, Friday, June 27th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., which is already happening at the Northeast campus. So check out our post after the show for more info. And I know we have a event called Red, White, and Move with the Rec Sports, right?
I'm going to be in my home campus at HCC Southeast. So this is just an event where we can promote fitness at all levels, and it's going to be a fun theme day to honor those who have served our country, right? So our participants are going to be encouraged to wear red, white, and blue, some workout gear, and the event will be festive music, small prize giveaways, and a prize for the best dressed. So that's going to be Tuesday, July 1st from 1 to 2, again, at our Eastside campus, our Student Life Center Fitness Center.
Awesome. That sounds fun. I'll probably make it out there in my blue, red, and white gear.
You're already ready. You're ready already, Benji.
All right. Next up, we have Freedom Scoops Red, White, and Blue ice cream. HCC Northeast students can celebrate Independence Day by swinging by for a taste of freedom and a free red, white, and blue ice cream treat, as well as some fun. This will take place Wednesday, July 2nd from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at the HCC Northeast campus. So check out our post after the show for more info. And next up, we have a Gen Cyber Summer Camp, right?
Yeah, that's with our HCC's Digital Information Technology COE. That's going to be at the West Loop campus Monday through Friday, July 14th to the 18th from 8 to 4:30. And Benji, what this is going to do, this is going to invite all of our middle school students who are passionate about cybersecurity, and it's free, FREE. And it's going to be a summer institute camp. So the goal is to really ignite these students and just bring awareness of cybersecurity content and just future career opportunities for these middle school students.
Awesome. Great. And next up, we have Up to the Minute Summer Hiatus. Yes, along with planning for HCC's new name, Houston City College, Chancellor Margaret Ford Fisher is hosting several new shows, and HCCTV staff is working to record them. So after this Monday show, Up to the Minute is taking a summer hiatus until students return for fall classes. However, best of episodes will run on HCCTV at its regular scheduled time of noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, I guess. And no Up to the Minute this summer will return on Monday, August 18th. So stay tuned, watch those best of episodes, get your Benji fix, Todd, Marissa, whoever, and we'll be back again on Monday, August 18th. And next up, we have fall registration going on, right, Marissa?
So fall's open and running right now. We almost all the campuses have their registration fairs going on, but really promoting our fall semester, So I want students to start thinking about their fall classes. If you haven't already, sign up. We have different programs, different semester lengths. We have 8-week, 4-week, 16-week options with different modalities. And modalities, I mean, the way that you want to take the class, whether it be online anytime, online on a schedule, hybrid, which is both face-to-face, and hybrid partially virtually, in person, of course, for those in-person learners, and then a hybrid lab. So to learn more about these HCC programs, Benji, these students or even staff and faculty that have questions, they can just go over to hccs.edu/apply, and they can look at anything from the cost, tuition costs, modalities, and the different class time starts. So thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, folks. We'll have more shows for you next week. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.